Continuing from the previous episode 2075. The latest website. So, what is your decision? Xiao Yan's voice just fell, and he immediately asked. Okay, I will trust you once. But it was agreed in advance that if you fail me, even if you pay the price of falling, I will definitely make you hurt. I believe I have this strength. The wooden block of the wood puppet demon said with a swaying mouth. Okay, but I'm a little curious. Your wooden man seems to be just a fake. What are you doing? Xiao Yan asked suspiciously. This is a trace of forgery. At the beginning, Yao Wan took my origin, which caused me to stagnate for thousands of years. Now the origin has only recovered half, so I can only show it in this way. By the way, what did you just say to help me ascend to the demon world? After a while, the wooden puppet demon said quite fiery, with an indescribable enthusiasm in his voice. The demon world, but they are the best habitat for spiritual creatures like them. If they can successfully ascend, let alone their origins, they will be happy even if they let themselves be cows and horses. The demon world is a paradise where all things are supernatural. There is a stable management, there is no human hunting and pursuit, no monsters will kill innocent people indiscriminately, and there is no need to worry about their own lives. Although the demon world also respects the strong, there are strong people. Constraints. Everything in the heaven and earth can ascend to the demon world. But in addition to breaking through the shackles and causing the catastrophe of the heavens and the earth, you can only forcibly cause the catastrophe of the heavens and the earth by external force, so that you can ascend successfully. Xiao Yan pretended to be mysterious. What are you going to do next? The wood puppet demon nodded lightly. Xiao Yan's words were quite convincing. There are countless precious medicinal materials here, and you are in the depths of the mountain range. There should be a lot of healing medicinal materials from heaven and earth. I'll give you 1 day to return to your peak state, and leave the rest to me. Xiao Yan thought for a while and said, but even if I return to the peak, the source is damaged, and there are still thousands of years before the catastrophe of ascension is triggered, And even if it caused the catastrophe of the ascension, with my current state, I can't successfully overcome the catastrophe. The wooden puppet demon was quite cautious, staring at Xiao Yan with a serious face. Obviously Yao Wan took its origin and let it go. It hates humans very much. Don't worry, leave the rest to me. After all, I still need your source to temper my wood-type fighting core, and I will naturally make you soar successfully. Xiao Yanshan said with a mysterious smile, with the power of holy flame, plus that extremely mysterious, and even it was Xiao Lei who didn't know what happened to Xiao Yan, so the catastrophe of ascension did not seem to be difficult for Xiao Yan. Okay. The wooden puppet demon nodded, and immediately prepared to return to his residence, ready to restore his power. Wait a minute. I entered here this time to participate in the Medicine Clan Festival, so please prepare me a map of the Medicine Valley Mountains and the distribution of some Big Mac races. Of course, if there is any problem with transcending tribulation, whether it is the intelligence map or your main body Muyuan, I will not mention it at all. Okay? Seeing that the disgust in the wooden puppet spirit had weakened a little, Xiao Yan hurriedly said. Okay. Although Xiao Yan's request is a bit rude, but after a balance, the wood puppet demon can only agree, because with its power, there is no absolute confidence to kill Xiao Yan, so it is not as good as looking forward to seeing if Xiao Yan can really send it into the demon world. Crash! The wooden puppet demon spirits retreated, and the place regained its original vitality, the birds chirping and the fragrance of flowers, and Xiao Yan didn't do anything extra, just sat quietly on the rock and waited for the return of the wooden puppet demon spirits. Hey, I had known that I had asked for some secret scrolls and the like with the Demon Emperor and Demon King. Otherwise I wouldn't have to be so troublesome now. Xiao Yan sighed after adjusting his breath to the peak. It's a pity that the wooden puppet demon is quite hostile to humans, otherwise if he knew that Xiao Yan actually knew the sky-high power like the Demon Emperor, he would probably post it upside down. 1 day later. I have prepared the intelligence map you want. And my main body, the source of wood, is enough for you to successfully control the wood attribute. Of course, the premise is that you help me successfully ascend into the demon world. Otherwise, if you force an attack, I will spontaneously ignite the source and let you lose all your previous efforts this time. Ling just appeared, and immediately picked out the powerful relationship among them. Okay, stop talking nonsense. You find a place to sit down, and I will borrow a little bit of your strength to induce the ascension catastrophe, and later I will resist all the soaring thunder tribulations for you. But there is still the most important part of entering the demon world. The soaring thunder catastrophe will be scattered. Check your body and your soul with a little strength to determine whether you have the qualifications to step into the demon world. If you can't carry the last stage, you will be destroyed in body and spirit, and I will directly collect your original wood source. Xiao Yan said directly without hiding it. I know, please start. If you succeed, then you will be the owner of my wooden puppet demon for life. The wooden puppet demon sat quietly on a branch, and the wooden man's attire still concealed its true body. Holy flames out! Feng Ju Xian, give me condensate! A long voice sounded, and suddenly the sky where the two were located slowly changed a little bit. Bang bang bang! One after another silver thunderclouds descended from the sky, and they were directly lured out by Xiao Yan with the fire of holy flame. At the same time, Xiao Yan swung out his palm and took a trace of the origin of the wooden puppet and injected it into the thundercloud. The whole sky was shaking violently. After the breath, in the silver thunder cloud, a strange beam of light burst out directly, and its target was the wooden puppet demon. The beam of light emerging from the silver thundercloud completely shrouded the wooden puppet demon, and a sliver of vibrant wood properties was released from its body uncontrollably. View! Boom! In an instant, silver thunderclouds whistled in the sky, and one after another incomparably powerful thunderstorm came, but no matter how tyrannical this thunderstorm was, it was completely swallowed by Xiao Yan's soul clone, Xiao Lei, and instead it was half empty. In the middle of the sky, the silver thundercloud and the wooden puppet demon are linked to the sky beam. The wooden puppet demon slowly rises, the surrounding wooden man's disguise becomes slightly illusory, and the body of its origin is completely revealed. This creature deserves to be close to the existence of a wood elf if Yao Wan hadn't seized its origin. I am afraid it would have completely transformed into a wood elf now. It looked like a golden cicada taking off its shell, and the wooden man's green coat remained on the top of the branch, and its source is like a group of dazzling mottled green energy, vaguely forming an elf about the size of a finger, Xiao Yan muttered. Elves, this is the gift of nature. They are the lucky ones born after absorbing the original power of countless nature. If a fire-type powerhouse can get a fire elf, its fire-type fighting spirit is enough to rival the holy flame. Of course, there are only 5 kinds of elves, such as gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, and the one like Xiao Yi has another appearance. Ascension Thunder Tribulation has all faded away, and the last step is to rely on you. After doing all this, Xiao Yan directly put Xiao Lei away, and immediately looked at Tungtian, which descended from silver thunderclouds, quite leisurely. The beam of light, it seems that as long as the source of the wooden puppet demon successfully resists the tempering and reaches the silver thundercloud, it can traverse the void and pour directly into the demon world. Of course, the premise is that the wooden puppet demon can resist the terrifying coercion and baptism in it, otherwise this ascension will only be a waste. Continuing from the previous episode 2076. The latest website, in the sky, countless silver filaments of light slowly fall, and the silver thunderclouds continue to overflow with a seemingly weak arc of thunder. In fact, this arc of thunder contains a terrifying force that can be learned from the world. It was just born. It is to bathe directly on the beam of light, and go towards the source of the wooden puppet demon, trying to baptize the original power of the wooden puppet demon and prevent its ascension. After a while, the movement here became more and more intense, and the huge power attracted the attention of almost all the powerhouses, causing an uproar in the entire Medicine Valley Mountains. Attention of entrants and contestants. This thundercloud is quite strange. It doesn't seem to be a Dan Lei. It contains an irresistible coercion of heaven and earth. A beam of light of this level? Wait, could this be? Outside the altar mountain, although countless powerhouses could not see the traces of Xiao Yan, they saw the traces of other powerhouses from other crystal prisms. A beam of light emerged from the sky, and countless birds and beasts roared and roared on the entire mountain range. Many of them were envious. They noticed something and couldn't help saying, "This kind of scenery seems to be a spiritual ascension?" Instantly, the beautiful eyes of the medicine cloud turned around. It seemed that the situation in front of him was very consistent with some situations in the ancient book, so he insisted. "I didn't expect to see the ascension of supernatural beings here. This grand ceremony is really interesting." Lei Qianren, the elder of the Thunder Clan beside him, said curiously. This guy seems a bit like the wooden puppet demon I met 1,000 years ago? But isn't that guy still 1,000 years away from the Ascension period? It's really strange. Yao Wan became suspicious for a while. In order to ensure the progress of this grand ceremony, whether it is the quantity of medicinal materials recorded in the prescription, the storage location or the guardian beasts in the Medicine Valley, they all go through their specific arrangements. Is this thought or something slipped through the net? What's the problem? At this moment, in the majestic mountain range of Medicine Valley, countless magical beasts roared loudly. Their fiery gazes emerged from the dark, revealing a deep yearning invisibly. Energy, and once it ascends to the demon world, it has a great advantage for them. Xiaoyan stood guarding beside the Tungtian light pillar, watching its source light group slowly rise, but he felt a little calm in his heart. But Xiaoyan's huge soul force noticed that some unscrupulous people were hiding in the dark and staring at him, and he immediately stopped. Not daring to take it lightly, he was still vigilant. Boom! After the blink of an eye, 2 dazzling beams of light flashed out from the depths of the mountain like lightning. The beams of light contained an extremely tyrannical evil spirit, and they carried an overwhelming force, breaking through Xiaoyan in an instant. The defense, facing the soaring beam of light to the sky. The sky-penetrating beam of light descended by the silver thundercloud is the last link in the ascension, and it is also the most important step. If it is destroyed by others, I am afraid that everything will fall short. Not good. At this moment, the source of the wooden puppet demon spirit, who had risen to the center of the beam of light, suddenly changed his face, as if he was facing a great enemy. Oh, it's really troublesome. But since we have this kind of fate, let me help you to the end this time. Although we humans have made a lot of mistakes in our endless exploration of nature, as well as indiscriminately killing innocent creatures, we have done a lot of wrong things, but in this world, there is nothing we can do about the weak. 2020, after you go to the demon world, you can enjoy yourself. Xiaoyan smiled softly, and immediately stepped out. The dazzling holy flames formed a splendid scenery like a rose, illuminating most of the sky, and a more dazzling and surging power slowed down. Born slowly. With Xiaoyan's keen sense of smell, he has already sensed that several tyrannical forces are rapidly approaching here. This kind of power is obviously not possessed by the contestants, but more like the tyrannical monsters living in the mountains. The defensive light group, the power contained in it is more powerful, so this is the reason. When the supernatural transcends the calamity and ascends, the transcendence has to bear the baptism of the ascension catastrophe. So no matter how tyrannical his strength was in his lifetime, when transcending the calamity, he is like a puppet that has no power to fight back, and can only be at the mercy of others. So now is the time when the wooden puppet demon is the weakest. Wood puppet demon, we are also considered to be the turn of the millennium. It's a little immoral for you to sneak up on your own like this. Yes, we are both magical beasts in the Medicine Valley Mountains. Naturally, we have both blessings and difficulties. The 2 light groups also flashed a gloomy chill, a dark red, a yellowish yellow, and appeared directly. Around the wooden puppet demon in the beam of light, you opened your mouth and said, and the monstrous killing intent in your voice was hard to contain. What nonsense! You 2 shameless bastards! Hearing the voice in the 2 light groups, the wooden puppet demon couldn't help roaring, and the roar fell from the sky to the world, and the sound of its anger echoed throughout the mountain range. Let's do it. I'm afraid there will be a change in the late. Since you don't listen, then use your origin to serve us this time. It's too whimsical to want to ascend to the demon world. The voice fell, and the 2 groups of light dissipated, revealing their true colors. The powerhouse of the world of Warcraft, the Earth Rock Bear, and the 3-tailed demon fox. Looking up, I saw that the Earth Rock Bear looked like a middle-aged man, staring at the wooden puppet demon with sharp eyes, but with a thick layer of rock armor all over his body. An extremely terrifying force emerged. The 3-tailed demon fox on the side is like a shrewd human man, but behind him there are 3 extremely strange tails swaying slowly, and it is full of mysterious power. After looking at the strength of the 2 is actually in the middle stage of the 8-star fighting immortal at the same time. I am afraid that with the combination of the 2, the ordinary powerhouses in the late stage of the 8-star fighting immortal can have some strength in a battle. Do it! The eyes of the 2 are not good, and the greed in their eyes is undoubtedly displayed. After the breath, a burst of surging energy erupted from their bodies at the same time, and when they reached out, they turned into a dazzling energy training and shot them away. Wang Om! The second attack, which contained the power of collapsing mountains and shattering the earth, went towards the beam of light, trying to destroy the beam of light and *** the origin of the wooden puppet demon. It's not a good thing to destroy the supernatural ascension. Let me come and meet you. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Yan stretched out his hand and waved heavily. The second attack was quietly evaporated by a terrifying high temperature, but his body roared violently like a moving active volcano. A scorching blazing glow swept across the entire sky, turning the radius of kilometer into a real molten world in an instant. This is the fire of holy flame? At this moment, whether it was the two powerhouses of beasts or the many powerhouses onlookers in the altar mountain outside, they looked at Xiao Yan in astonishment, and a shocking wave broke out in their hearts. Continuing from the previous episode 2077. The latest website, Holy Flame? Countless strong men in the altar mountain stood up from their seats tremblingly, watching the amber flames vented from Xiao Yan's body. His eyelids twitched violently, and his whole body became dry mouth tongue dry up. It seems that the scene in front of them has surpassed their cognition. Could this Xiao Yan be a monster? In addition, the void within a kilometer of the entire mountain range became distorted, and a scorching heat wave swept through everyone in the mountain range. Fluctuations of that level, even some 8-star fighting immortal powerhouses, smelled a terrifying oppression. What an amazing and talented guy. At this moment, Yao Wanwan did not have any doubts and shook his head lightly. Obviously, this time the Yao clan ceremony seemed to be just a wedding dress for others, but for him, it was not like those pedantic fellows in the clan. In his eyes, the supreme way of refining medicine is above the clan. This Xiao Yan, at this moment, including Yao Yichen, who has always been arrogant, regarded Xiao Yan as the real enemy, and was suddenly united by Shen Hong and others, and a special strategy against Xiao Yan emerged. But they did not stop here, but seized the time to collect medicinal materials. After all, not many people can resist the power of holy flame in the core circle of spiritual ascension. Deep in the mountains, the vast land was covered with a layer of silver mist, and the coercion of the heavens and the earth contained in it made some weak beasts kneel down. A 7-star fighting immortal perfect human being actually has a holy flame. It really surprises the two of us. It's better to rely on us, I promise you. The three-tailed demon fox looked at Xiao Yan's gesture. Although shocked, he calmed down after a while and sneered. I'll help you with this. Following Xiao Yan's sneer, countless flaming flames descended from the sky, and all of them roared towards Xiao Yan's palm. After a while, Xiao Yan's palm instantly solidified, a touch of amber-colored dangerous firefoxes. Like a elf, cheering and jumping, but this elf-like flame is flowing around Xiao Yan's body. It seems that something on Xiao Yan's body is slowly sprouting and sprouting. Kill! Seeing Xiao Yan's actions, the two demon beasts looked at each other and felt a deep sense of heat. Immediately, endless suffocating energy emerged from their bodies, falling one after the other and suddenly converging together. The lightning storm killed Xiao Yan with an extremely terrifying offensive. Dong dong dong! The terrifying lightning storm was venting endless anger. The entire sky became extremely cold, and the awe-inspiring breath of death permeated the ground. Human. Seeing Xiao Yan help him so recklessly, the wooden puppet devil has already been transformed into a pure light group, but he firmly remembers this figure, but he is still one step away from successfully ascending. After a little time, now I can only pin all my hopes on Xiao Yan. Holy flame fire. Seeing the lightning storm that contained the power of destruction, Xiao Yan was silent. The flame elf in his hand flickered instantly, and suddenly exploded, and the hot amber flames filled the sky. Evolved into a real sea of fire. Holy flame sea, burn me! When the lightning storm was raging, the darling of the fire that Xiao Yan's palm fused finally fully bloomed, and the sacred and hot holy flames burned the entire void. Faintly about a twisted meaning swept out. The splendid amber flame hides a destructive power that surpasses the heavens and the earth. Even with the strength of the two monsters, they are overwhelmed and overwhelmed. What's the matter now? At this moment, the rock armor on the shoulders of the earth demon bear actually became hot, with faint traces of shattering and disintegration, and suddenly whistled with a huge flame force. You can only use the trump card, otherwise once this guy has delayed enough time, the wooden puppet demon will succeed in soaring. At that time, our coveted origin will fall short. Seeing this, the three-tailed demon fox slowly swayed its tail behind him. A surging force emerged. If my strength can break through the 8 stars, with the increase of holy flame, I will be close to invincible existence in the same level, and have a new original skill after the fusion of holy flame. My current strength is not what it used to be. Xiao Yan looked at it. Looking at the small world of the Sea of Fire, he nodded with satisfaction. It seemed that the power of the holy flame would increase with the increase of his own strength. The place of ascension is close to 1,000-meter Sea of Fire. The raging fire continues to burn all the creatures in the void and inside. It can be vaguely seen that 2 gigantic monsters have gently transformed from human appearances into real monsters. The Earth Demon Bear, with its brown fur constantly resisting the erosion of the holy flame, its entire body is as unfathomable as a mountain. There are frantic fluctuations in the bear's eyes, and the fur on its body echoes the ground. The power swept out. Dong, dong, dong. The three-tailed magic fox also turned into the body of the magic fox. The 3 monster tails behind him kept shaking, and every shaking would bring an unparalleled terrifying power. Fist of the Earth, Devil Fox's hard eye. Without any extra rhetoric, the 2 roared at the same time, and the sensible tone fell directly. A rock fist and a demon fox soul shadow flashed out and shot at Xiao Yan. With the display of their power, the temperature in the Sea of Fire suddenly dropped, and even a trace of cracks appeared, vaguely emitting a hint of fear. Humans, this is the end. Looking at this scene, the 3-tailed demon fox's face turned gloomy, and endless killing intent and sneer emerged. With the strongest blow of himself and the Earth Demon Bear, send Xiao Yan on the road, and immediately collect the origin of the wood puppet demon. Let's take you to try my new power after the fusion of various holy flames. Holy Flame Armor. Xiao Yan's voice was gentle and virtuous, but as the voice fell, the flames in the entire Sea of Fire quickly escaped, carrying Xiao Yan's body together, and every flame was evenly distributed on Xiao Yan's skin on the limbs. After the breath, it turned into a gorgeous armor, shining and protecting it like a god's mansion walking on earth is brilliant. Come on. Feeling the fusion of various holy flames, the original skill armor, Xiao Yan's mouth filled with a faint smile, and immediately stepped out, clenched his fist with one hand, and blasted out with a fist against the sky. Peefed. With a sound, Xiao Yan, who was bathed in the amber-colored soul robe, was extremely sacred. He punched out, and the attack of the 2 was instantly shattered. It's really bad luck. At this moment, the 2 scolded secretly, and fled here in a hurry. The punch of Xiao Yan just now contained endless killing intent and a terrifying power that they could not understand. If they stayed here, I am afraid they would fall completely. They had only been able to transform into a human form after cultivating magical beasts for thousands of years. It's a pity. Otherwise, my new Holy Flame original skill, Holy Flame Soul Clothes, is enough for me to try the limit. Xiao Yan watched the 2 flee, but did not pursue deeply, but closed his eyes and rested his mind, and directly sitting cross-legged on top of the void felt the power of the new Holy Flame origin technique. And secondly, it was also to protect the wooden puppet demon from successfully ascending. Continuing from the previous episode 2078. The latest website. This Xiao Yan is really an out-and-out freak, to have made such a big move. No wonder even the ancestors in the clan praised the Xiao clan, but he is as arrogant as the Xiao clan. Why did it disappear so mysteriously? Forget it, but Xiao Yan's move has undoubtedly attracted the attention of countless people. Their goals will be placed on him. Only by erasing Xiao Yan will they be eligible to compete for the first place. It's just that he can easily become the public enemy of everyone. After all, no matter how tyrannical Xiao Yan is, he will probably be extremely troublesome when facing an opponent with nearly 1,000 people. Go to the depths to get the information first, and then join with Xiao Yan. Ling Zixi also noticed the big movement made by Xiao Yan, and said with a pouted mouth, but naturally there is no extra love for Xiao Yan. In order to help Xiao Yan, it can be regarded as a return for the Xiao family who helped them back then. Boom! Thank you, human. Without the attack of the 2 leaders, the demon beasts, the remaining beasts were jealous, but they were guarded by Xiao Yan and did not dare to act rashly. Streaming light, the speed skyrocketed, and a harsh roar emerged, jumped directly to the top of the silver cloud, and went down the sky-high beam to the depths of the silver cloud. Hands up! Xiao Yan waved his hand towards the pure light ball, and the silver thundercloud cracked a gap, easily absorbing the origin of the wooden puppet demon, and a vicissitudes of heaven and earth energy swept in. In an instant, the wooden puppet demon also successfully ascended, leaving only a stone-like body origin on the ground. The main body contains the power of its origin wood attribute, but after the ascension, the main body cannot enter the demon world, so the main body and the original source are separated and left here, because the body is cultivated by the original source. Go to its station first, otherwise there will be too much movement here, and it will easily attract some contestants. After confirming the success of the wooden puppet demon's ascension, Xiao Yan gently put away the map and origin he had prepared, follow the map's instructions and head towards the wooden puppet demon's residence. This is naturally to absorb its origin and completely control the two attributes. It is also to explore the new Holy Flame origin technique. About an hour later, in a beautiful cave, Xiao Yan sat up slightly, looking at the precious medicinal materials growing everywhere in the cave. He couldn't help but exclaim, this level of treasure was actually enjoyed by the wood puppet demon alone. It was originally a supernatural being of heaven and earth. It used the wood attribute as its source, absorbed the endless essence of heaven and earth, and finally successfully ascended to the demon world. Damn it, I'm still missing the last medicinal material. After some searching, Xiao Yan couldn't help shaking his head and said, even though the medicinal materials here are extremely rich, Xiao Yan did not collect all of them. Forget it, let's absorb the source of the wood puppet demon first, and then search for it after the dual attributes are stabilized. Next, let's take a look at the new Holy Flame origin technique. Holy Flame armor. Xiao Yan arranged dozens of barrier formations inside and outside the entire cave, so Xiao Yan roared, and the surging power was vented. The new Holy Flame origin technique combines the power of several saint flames. Xiao Yan can still use the origin technique of his own saint flame, but the new Holy Flame origin technique after fusion is undoubtedly more powerful. Boom! As soon as the roaring voice fell, Xiao Yan only felt a burst of heat on his skin, and then pieces of gorgeous amber armor appeared attached, covered with delicate flame patterns, and even Xiao Yan's entire body is completely protected and covered, and the feeling of great strength and heat is undoubtedly a real treasure. What a terrifying new Holy Flame's original technique. Feeling the incomparably hot and extreme energy of the Holy Flame armor, Xiao Yan also smiled with satisfaction. With this thing, his power has undoubtedly risen to a new level. Whether attacking or defending. Moreover, Xiao Yan has an intuition. With the increase of the Dragon God transformation and the Holy Flame armor, his strength is no longer inferior to some ordinary 8-star fighting immortals. With the addition of the fused fighting spirit and other means. Let's start. After sensing the thick armor on top of his skin, Xiao Yan just put it away, holding the origin left by the wooden puppet demon in his hand, and murmured, his voice was full of heat feeling. There is indeed a subtle connection between the fire attribute and the wood attribute. If it can be successfully controlled, Xiao Yan's power will have a qualitative leap. After all, a strong man like Ji Yuan who controls the two attributes has already entered Tongzhan realm. Wang Om! The palm swung, and a soft green light group shot out. It did not have any intelligence, it was like a green liquid lying quietly in front of Xiao Yan, but the extremely turbulent energy contained in it made Xiao Yan quite fiery, and suddenly in the sea of vindictive energy in Xiao Yan's body, the wood-type Duhe, who had been quiet all along, seemed to have sensed this treasure of heaven and earth, trembling violently, and a wave of extreme greed emerged. The so-called attribute, a normal human can only have one attribute in a lifetime, because the attribute penetrates into the limbs and bones like blood. If you want to control another attribute in the birth, the price and perseverance you need to pay is far beyond understanding. Quiet me. Just when Xiao Yan was overjoyed, the fire-type Duhe burst out with an extremely fierce aura, trying to devour it. After all, one mountain does not allow two tigers, and the fire-type Duhe obviously felt a crisis. Bah! With a loud voice, the dazzling soul power directly vented out, suddenly suppressing the fire attribute bucket core, and the soft green light group was suddenly sucked into Xiao Yan's body like a light drink of nectar. Peefed! Just after swallowing the body, it was full of vitality, running around in Xiao Yan's body. Obviously, the original power of this wood puppet demon is full of too much wood attribute origin, and wood attribute is the representative of vitality. 1. So there is such an anomaly. I saw Xiao Yan sitting cross-legged, the whole body revealed a strange green light, the breath of the whole body was like the sun of nature, endless vitality swept out, even some medicinal materials in the cave. The growth rate has not consciously accelerated a lot. Kacha! This kind of abnormality did not last long. After Xiao Yan filled the wood attribute aura into the limbs and bones in his body, he directly sent all the power of the source to the Do Qi, Sea wood attribute bucket core. In the almost empty Do Qi Sea, the sound of crystals shattering continued to sound. Of course, there was Xiao Yan's terrifying scream. The pain of reawakening and controlling the wood attribute was no less than binding his soul and stabbing him with extremely sharp silver needles. In his mind, the heart-wrenching pain made his scalp tingle. However, no matter how dangerous, Xiao Yan was slowly clenching his teeth. At that time, the wood-type fighting core in his body gradually became surging. Endless vitality lingered in Xiao Yan's blood, directly, and the fire-type account standing on each other. In the sea of fighting spirit, confrontation. Like two equal opponents. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2079. The latest website. 3 days have passed. For 3 days, Xiao Yan has been sitting quietly in the cave, enduring that kind of inhuman pain, but fortunately, the Emperor paid off. After 3 days, the source of the wood puppet demon completely spread. In Xiao Yan's body, the brand was imprinted into the soul and penetrated into the flesh and blood. With all these, Xiao Yan finally completely mastered the wood attribute. Now the dual attributes of fire and wood are like a duck to water in his hands. Terret. Xiao Yan opened his eyes, and a surging vitality emerged from his eyes. With a wave of his hand, some wood vines in the cave were actually controlled by Xiao Yan at will, and even relying on the power of wood attributes, Xiao Yan, there is actually a slight connection between Yan and these vines and plants that can be seen everywhere. With the existence of these plants, there is no need for Xiao Yan's soul power to probe and sense. The whole cave is exposed in Xiao Yan's mind. Terret. After a while, some trees and plants in the cave made a rather pleasant sound towards Xiao Yan, as if congratulating Xiao Yan. Can wood attributes still be perceived by forest plants? This is the same perception as the power of the soul, even in some places where the power of the soul cannot be used, but it is an excellent method. I don't know if the fire attribute can rely on the power of flame to perceive. Feeling the fire filled in the body with the two attributes of wood, Xiao Yan also smiled happily. The body of a pharmacist has been constructed from the dazzling fire attribute and a faint wood attribute since ancient times, but there are very few strong people who can completely awaken and control the two powers. Let's go. The last place for medicinal herbs, the spiritual sea at the bottom of the mountain. After speaking, Xiao Yan got up directly, and with the guidance of the map, the speed skyrocketed and headed towards the core of the mountain range. But not only Xiao Yan, but also the medicinal materials collected by thousands of pharmacists according to the prescriptions in their hands, like Xiao Yan, lacked the last medicinal materials. I don't know if it was a coincidence or deliberately done by the powerful medicine family. Going to one place, nowhere, will obviously be the last level before alchemy, and it will also be a place of extremely fierce competition. At this moment, in the Linghai Mountains, one after another silhouettes are constantly flickering and walking in the mountains. Although there are casualties, many people have gained something. Hey, have you heard of it? At this time, the 3 alchemists of the 6th rank of immortal rank gathered in a mountain stream, and one of the pale-faced men murmured loudly. What? Listening to the man speaking, the other 2 also turned their attention to it. Obviously, the 3 of them were also a team formed at 0 hour. After all, not everyone was as arrogant as Xiao Yan and the favored sons of the ancient race. It is said that the Yao clan brothers and sisters, together with the Yan clan, the Shui sect and other powerhouses, have set up a net to wait for Xiao Yan, trying to bring Xiao Yan to justice. The man continued to speak, with a hint of expectation in his voice. The battle between the ancient race and Xiao Yan will definitely be extremely hot. Xiao Yan? Hearing the name, they couldn't help but feel a thunderous feeling. In the Linghai now, most of the powerhouses have joined their alliance, because they know that Xiao Yan's successive displays of strength are too terrifying, and the geniuses of the ancient races have felt extremely tyrannical pressure. If Xiao Yan is not wiped out first, I am afraid that they will not be able to compete for the first title in the mainland. The man said, "But what does this have to do with the spirit sea at the bottom of the mountain we went to?" The two onlookers wondered. According to today's rumors, it seems that every pharmacist's prescription is missing the last medicinal ingredient, and the last medicinal ingredient is in the spirit sea at the bottom of the mountain range. I think this is also the test set up by the medicinal clan. The man continued to add, "The relationship between the woman from the spiritual race and Xiao Yan is quite mysterious. When she noticed the conspiracy, she rashly tried to smash their joint conspiracy. That kind of fairies like flowers and jades, they can also do it. But those guys haven't killed the spirit clan fairies for a long time. They seem to be trying to drive them away, as if they are waiting for something." Quote. One after another muttering emerged, and the three of them quietly retreated, heading towards the bottom of the mountain range, where there is a passage connecting the bottom of the mountain range, and the bottom is where the Sea of Spirits is located. These guys are really a headache. Xiao Yan did not deliberately investigate, but after completely controlling the wood attribute, the forest trees within a kilometer would inadvertently pass this kind of information to Xiao Yan, so the conversation between the three was also it poured into Xiao Yan's mind without a trace. "Forget it, you can't die without help. Heaven's favored son of the ancient race, let me see what he is proud of." Xiao Yan shook his head, then moved his body and went directly to the spiritual sea at the bottom of the mountain. Although he possessed tyrannical soul power, but when it comes to refining medicine pills, I can't guarantee victory in the face of these talented guys. But if we put aside the medicine refining skills and talk about combat power, I am afraid that any one of the ancient races will be alone. Daoduo will not be Xiao Yan's opponent, of course, except for group attacks, but Xiao Yan also wants to try it. How tyrannical is the combined power of the firewood dual attributes, the fighting spirit, and the dragon *** transformation. At the same time, on the other side, a small force formed by gathering several strong men was already waiting for Xiao Yan's self-injection. "You said, will Xiao Yan come?" At this time, at a turbulent river hidden under the majestic mountains, dozens of powerhouses with strength as high as the 7-star fighting immortals slowly stood here, quietly guarding the turbulent waves below. The river seems to be waiting for something. Ling Zixi and Xiao Yan should have an extraordinary relationship, so he will definitely come. Shen Hong took the lead and laughed with Yan Zan, but for other powerhouses such as the Yao family brothers and sisters, Hun Mu and the others adopted an attitude of neither plague nor fire, which made them quite strange. "Keep this place for me, and once you find Xiao Yan's figure, immediately kill him." Soul Mu, Yao Yi Shen, I know that you are not ashamed of what I am doing now, but I tell you Yan Zan, if you stand by and watch when Xiao Yan appears, once we fail, there is no need for the final alchemy test. Because victory belongs to only one side. Now we are on the same boat, you shouldn't do anything that people and gods are angry with. Yan Zan said extremely arrogantly and domineeringly, revealing the powerful relationship between them. "We will do it." Yao Yichen and the others could only shake their heads secretly when they heard the words. Now the situation is not something they can handle. Xiao Yan's soul power is too tyrannical. They could only admit defeat, but they mistakenly believed that Xiao Yan's tyrannical soul force was also a tyrannical alchemist, otherwise they would definitely not have done such a stupid thing of joining the contestants to besiege Xiao Yan.